Do minigame fests like the Mario and Sonic games need story modes? Probably not. But it's always hilarious to see how they manage to add a plot to furiously shaking your Wii remote and going at your touchscreen like you're trying to reveal a scratch card. It's especially the latter that has happened a lot, with story modes in this crossover series mostly being exclusive to handhelds only, and if you consider the Switch a handheld, then it's actually completely exclusive to those kinds of consoles. I guess the explanation is that you're more likely to play these games alone on handheld rather than on consoles, where you can easily gather friends to sit behind the TV. And yeah, then I guess the argument can be made that the story mode is useful, but to make the plots as insane as they ended up doing, maybe wasn't necessary. But hey, you won't find me complaining, cause now I get to guide you through the weird adventures Mario and Sonic have had together. Despite releasing on the Nintendo DS, the original Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games does not have a story mode whatsoever, it's literally just minigames. It wasn't until the second game, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games, that the handheld version would get its own full-fledged story mode. It's called Adventure Tours, and yes, it is supposed to be Sonic Adventure free, deal with it. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Bowser and Eggman are the main villains of this story and have the brilliant plan to stop the 2010 Olympic Games from happening so they can organize their own. In order to do this, they kidnap the Snow Spirits, which are the cause of the Winter Wonderland required to hold the event. Now, does that make Bowser and Eggman an allegory for global warming? Perhaps. Anyway, these Snow Spirits are brand new characters, and they are a very rare example of original characters from this series. You've got Frosty, Sparky, Pola, QB, Icy, and Blizza. They even all have their own personalities. Frosty is a leader, for example, while QB is always hungry, which must be a nightmare if you don't have a mouth. Each is named after the town they're found in: Frost Town, Sparkleton, Polar Straits, QB Rinth, Ice Peak, and Blitzland, all of which our heroes must visit in order to free the Snow Spirits. And when I say heroes, I don't just mean Mario and Sonic. They're also accompanied by a Toad for the entire duration of this adventure. His sole purpose is to talk, because for some bizarre reason, Mario and Sonic cannot talk during this adventure. I have absolutely no clue why, especially for Sonic, it's a very strange decision. But Toad isn't the only character to join along the way. Of course there are the other playable characters as well. Luigi, Tails, Peach, Knuckles and more all join Team Mario and Sonic to save the Winter Games, but not before they have challenged their friends to Olympic events and have been beaten. Many of these characters also contribute something minor in pushing the story forward, mostly by activating the mechanics needed to continue. Tails fixing a gate, Knuckles, Shadow and Amy all attack it with their well-known moves, Yoshi licks them, and Peach proves her worth in a snowball fight against a Goomba, who rewards her by giving her a shooting rifle. I'm sorry, why is this Goomba armed? They could have at least had Shadow hand this out, it's such a missed opportunity. Anyway, as the story continues without any real plot beyond save the Snow Spirits, more members are added to the party until nearly every playable character but the villains are present. And yeah, that includes Wario and Waluigi, who are on the good side of history this time around. That same thing cannot be said for King Boo, a Big Bullet Bill, Dry Bowser, Rouge and Eggman Nega, made very sure I pronounced that correctly, who appear as bosses and have to be defeated in order to get the Snow Spirits back. After all Snow Spirits have been freed, including leader Frosty who gets kidnapped again near the end, Mario and Sonic face off against their lifelong nemesis to end this conflict once and for all. It's a best of 3 in blazing bobsleigh, fever hockey and extreme snowboarding. The winner decides the fate of the Winter Olympics. Of course, it's the heroes that are victorious and peace returns to the world. Every character gets a final line to express their excitement to continue with the events. Well, except for Luigi, he just grins like a maniac. And with that, the adventure tours have come to an end. When you think about it, this effectively makes it a prequel to the minigames found in the main game, which take place during the tournament we just saved. Yes, this is where my efforts to create a Mario and Sonic timeline begin and end. While the Adventure Tours was one continuous story, that kind of story mode would not return 2 years later in Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games London 2012. Instead, the 3DS version has an episodic story mode that divides the stories of Mario and Sonic into a Mario story and Sonic story, officially making this Sonic Adventure 4. Once again, Bowser and Eggman team up. They're not invited to the Olympic Games, which historically usually means to use PADs, and so they try to prevent the games from happening by unleashing the phantasmal fog upon the main stadium in London. Yes, this is indeed a biological attack on the major city. From what I understand, they still take a moment of silence in London every year. Anyway, it might be a shock to you all, but there is actually lore to this phantasmal fog. The story goes that the fog was originally contained in an urn at an ancient ruin site, where its ability to create imposters was used as a curse to deter looters. This didn't work as planned, because the urn ended up stolen by the pirate William Kidd, who was a real person by the way, who used a magical seal to protect himself from the curse. Weirdly enough, this event is not mentioned anywhere on his Wikipedia page, so I've taken the liberty to let the editors know. Somehow, Eggman got a hold of the urn centuries later and used an invention to partly open it. When Bowser was added to the team, he had a Magic Koopa open it fully to unleash its full power. Omega was tasked with bringing the gas to London, and that's how the story starts. Insane, I know, but I love the completely unnecessary level of detail here. Don't be fooled though, there may be more backstory and the presentation is definitely better, but at the end of the day this story mode is quite similar to the last one. It's constantly the same thing, just at different locations all throughout London. What is fun though is how, because the groups are now split up, different dynamics form. Mario and Luigi team up with literally every female character, and no one else on their journey to stop the fog. Sonic's team consists of the greatest heroes his world has ever known. Sonic, Tails, Silver, Shadow, Jet, and Yoshi. Eventually, Mario and Sonic find each other at the British Museum, where they permanently join up for the Mario and Sonic story. But if you think this is how the story enters its climax, you couldn't be more wrong. Enter the next episode, Waluigi's Ambitions. Waluigi has new binoculars that he wants to use to find Luigi's weakness. Why? Who knows? Shy Guys then appear who want his binoculars, but Waluigi tells them to bugger off. Next, Metal Sonic appears and accidentally breaks the glasses. Waluigi snaps again and demands he is reimbursed for the damage. Metal Sonic refuses and the two fight, with Waluigi winning to everyone's surprise. Metal Sonic then flees and Waluigi speeds after him to get his money. That's it. That's the whole episode. No fog, nothing. It's the only episode this applies to. The rest that introduce Wario, Donkey Kong and more follow the established structure and revolve around the actual plot of the story. This eventually leads to another showdown with Bowser and Eggman, who are again defeated, and despite covering the entire city of London in fog, are still invited to the Olympic Games as they can now finally be held. Everything can be forgiven, I suppose. The game also has several more bonus episodes, which are loosely connected in a way. They start with Bowser Jr. accidentally ending up in Stonehenge instead of London and having to make his way there, before shifting towards Bowser and Eggman training for the Olympics, and then the female characters are introduced to work together to write out invitations for the games, which culminates in a bizarre final episode where Bowser and Eggman grow impatient and come to collect their invitations, only to find there is a ridiculous system here where Peach, Amy and more apparently write the invitations and then a bunch of toads put them on the mail, despite everyone already being in London, far away from their home address, but then Daisy and Blaze are somehow also involved in the delivery process. It's a very weird episode to end the game on. The next handheld entry in the series would again have a bit of a story mode, although it definitely isn't as expansive as the last one was. We're in Rio this time around, as both Mario and Sonic have set up their own gym to prepare for the Olympics. Your me gets to join one of those gyms and prepare for the Olympics while running around the Rio streets. This time around, the overarching story is actually more focused on preparing for the tournament, although there is more to it, with imposters of Mario and Sonic, these Miis wearing their costumes, spreading havoc throughout the city. Fortunately, there are no references to fakers anywhere to be found. As the story progresses, Mario and Sonic go into hiding and team up with your character to find out the truth and clear their name, with it eventually being revealed these boys are just fans of Mario and Sonic, who were hypnotized using the suits by Dr. Eggman and Bowser to do their evil bidding. This plan is of course thwarted, saving the boys from their mind control and allowing the Olympics to continue as planned. That's basically it. No lore, no real original characters, it's definitely a lighter entry. But that does mean we have more time to look into what will probably be the final story mode this series ever had, seeing as it's apparently over, with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020 for Switch. And this story is wild in the best way. No separated stories this time, just Mario and Sonic together in an actual story, with actual chapters even. It being set in Tokyo was always gonna be a good sign, but if this truly is the last story of Mario and Sonic, it at least went out with a bang. So, Mario and Sonic have arrived at the Olympic Games. Toad appears and gives them a gift, which contains the Tokyo 64, a retro video game console, which is actually a trap devised by Bowser and Eggman, who are watching from a distance. Because Bowser grows impatient in activating it, he scares Luigi by appearing, who then drops the device and causes Mario, Sonic, Eggman, Bowser and Toad to be sucked inside, with Luigi himself remaining in the real world. From now on, those 5 characters are trapped inside a video game, based on the Tokyo Olympic Games of 1964, which is entirely pixelated and looks super cool. They decide they might as well participate in these pixely Olympics while they're here. In the real world, Luigi searches for Tails to help him. After all, Luigi is a cool jock and has no idea how to work with these things, while Tails is a little nerd who might be able to help. Of course, this search still takes him along a bunch of events to participate in, which have definitely been woven into the story in a less convincing and more contrived way than before, even if the storyline is arguably the most interesting one of them all. For the majority of the story mode, the chapters continue to alternate between inside the game and the real world. We learn that Eggman knows that the only way to get out of the video game is by winning all gold medals, with Toad overhearing and relaying the info onto Mario and Sonic. In the real world, the game system changes hands constantly, with both Bowser Jr. and Eggman Nega taking it for themselves. The latter eventually concludes that obtaining gold medals in the real world might free the characters as well, causing a wild goose chase to get as many as possible. Wario and Waluigi also join in, but only because they plan to steal the gold medals for themselves later, while Eggman Nega is able to contact the 2 villains in the game and promises them power-ups are coming. He then finds out that gold medals in real life actually don't have any effect. It has to happen in the game, which is why he sends Bowser and Eggman those power-ups. But because Bowser Jr. touches too many buttons in his impatience, the items are instead scattered all over the virtual city. While Eggman and Bowser do manage to find these miracle rolls, it doesn't stop Mario and Sonic from defeating them anyway, and seeing their gold medal count rise further and further. In the real world, Tails and Luigi finally get the Tokyo 64 back, which is now almost running out of battery. They collect a device known as the Excitement Battery, made by Eggman Nega and a Magic Koopa, which can power the game console forever and runs on crowd excitement. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the solution to the energy crisis, but at least it makes for a convenient excuse to play more minigames. Inside the game world, Mario and Sonic have now won every single event and collected all gold medals, prompting Eggman and Bowser to unleash their secret master plan, knocking them out and stealing their medals. If your master plan is the same as the one Wario and Waluigi came up with on a whim, it's not a good plan. It also fails because Toad was holding the medals, but because time is running out, the 5 characters decide to work together to return home, which they probably should have done several hours ago, but oh well. As the real world party plugs in the excitement battery, the trapped characters are finally free and return to the real life Tokyo. They all participate in a final race, which Mario or Sonic win, and that officially ends the story. And honestly, it's a great one. Or rather, as much as you can ask for from what still is a minigame compilation at the end of the day. The world inside the Tokyo 64 is just so cool to look at, and while the real world is nothing too special, it is cool how many characters have been given a role in the story, even if minor. On one hand, it stings a little to know that this is probably the final time we're ever gonna see these 2 iconic gaming worlds merged, but at the very least it received one hell of a swan song. What are your memories and experiences like with the stories of these games? Share it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all my future Mario content coming up. Not Sonic, don't subscribe if you want more Sonic. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.